You guys, Lefties Losing It. Here we go again with another episode of Arita Actually Taking Aim, this time at Kamala's World Salad, whatever that means, during the former US Vice President's visit to New York City. So let's go and check this one, shall we?
Now it's time for Lefties Losing It, and I'll be bringing you a new low for the mainstream media and their deranged hatred of Donald Trump. You will not believe what a CBS anchor said on air, and she still has a job. But let's ease our way into Lefties Losing It by checking in on the woman who almost became the leader of the free world, the woman the media tried to tell us was a competent and visionary leader, an orator. Yes, it's Kamala time.
For those rights to be maintained, which means we have to be vigilant, and it's just the nature of it.
Oh, I'm not sure if that's Kamala time or happy hour. The former Veep appears to be unburdened by sobriety, allegedly. She was in New York to visit the cast of A Wonderful World on Broadway, and she explains here it was a rare outing. She doesn't get out much nowadays.
So that's how we deal with defeat. That's what she would have taught the nation, how to deal with hardship. That's not how you face hardship in life. If you're a leader, that's the opposite. The victim attitude, it makes complete sense. This makes complete sense.
But we wanted so much to see this before you guys left. This is my first trip to New York, actually, since the campaign. And I wanted to come to see you all before the show left. And this was so beautiful. And it just had such depth and soul and all the nuances.
Such depth and soul. But it wouldn't be a Kamala word salad without some inspiring words of wisdom.
It's just the nature of it. Yes, it's this beautiful play. And it doesn't mean we don't see the beauty in everything.
You know when you say a lot, but you say nothing? That's how it feels like. Like, what's the point? Give me something credential. Give me some weight to what you're saying. Make me describe what you're saying. It could be anything. It's so generic.
Right?
Right,
These
yeah.
things all coexist. But I believe we fight for something, not against something.
Yes, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Well, not quite sure about the clear eyes part there.
Nothing clear about this.
Let's move on to one of the most disgraceful performances from a news anchor that you'll ever see. Face the Nation host Margaret Brennan, fresh from being humiliated by J.D. Vance, was interviewing Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and she actually claimed that the Holocaust was caused by free speech. About that. This is not only offensively stupid and historically ignorant, but it shows just how demented the leftist media have become.
He was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
This makes no sense whatsoever. What did she say? I can't believe she just said that.
Disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide.
Free speech and genocide, these don't go together at all. They don't go. There was no free speech during World War II, all right? There was only one leader. There was only one party. Everything else was there's no free speech. What are you talking about? If someone else was opposing whatever the leader was saying, he'd be dead.
Genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole
Exactly.
and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history.
Free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide.
That-
That's what
that-
she said, word for word.
I don't know. I really don't know why she made that point. I really don't know. How did she wake up that day, read that script, and approve it and be like, yes, I'm going to say this out loud? I just can't. I'm not that smart, all right? But how dumb can you be?
Marco Rubio corrected her, gave her historical facts to counter her, frankly, insane propaganda, but he was far too polite. When someone says something
True.
that spectacularly
Stupid.
stupid, they need to be put in their place. And I mentioned J.D. Vance humiliating Margaret Brennan just a few weeks ago. Let's take a little look at my two favourite moments from that interview. Here, J.D. Vance wipes that smug look off her face.
Well, this is a country founded by immigrants.
Well, this is a country
This is a
founded
unique
by
country.
This is a very unique country, and it was founded by some immigrants and some settlers. But just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world.
And here,
Exactly. And it is so much sense. It makes so much sense, you guys. Like, what does that have to do with anything? You know, this is, I'm sorry, but oh my God. This is like settlers going back to a country saying, we used to live there thousands of years ago and now we still own that place. So everybody here who has been living for a while, pack your shit and go out. And I'm not going to name the country, but you know who I'm talking about.
J.D. Vance gives birth to a new meme. I don't really care, Margaret.
We absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These people
it's
are
not
vetted.
good.
These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was
Yeah, like this. Oh my God, I remember this.
allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly, he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted, and because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really.
Yeah, like you need. I don't want another particular case to happen. You know, I don't want any incidents and coincidence to happen. That's why we're doing what we're doing, right? I mean, you are, not me. I'm just reacting.
Care, Margaret, I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
I think that interview broke Margaret Brennan's tenuous grip on reality, because she's now claiming that free speech in Nazi Germany caused the Holocaust. Now, moving along,
What
I do
am I
love it when
listening
media
to?
sufferers like Bill Maher have to admit that President Trump is not only highly effective, but is now cool. This must have hurt.
Here's how bad the Democrats up. Trump is cool now. He's not just the most powerful guy in the world and just made himself like the richest. He's actually kind of at 78.
Yes.
I mean, rappers like him. The athletes are doing, I was making fun of him, two guys at one time. And now he owns it.
Guys, at one time. Oh my God, I just got it. Please don't clip that. Please don't clip that. Please don't clip that, please.
And they're doing it. I mean, the village people are gay for Trump now.
The village people are gay for Trump now. The cultural shift in the US is real and it's big. And it's touched another former TDS sufferer, Stephen A. Smith.
What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf? They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home, and that man is back into the White House, and they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about, look at it, this is the latest, look at him, here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week one, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no.
And trigger warning for the lefties, the polls are showing the American people
That's
back
so true.
Donald Trump's key policies despite the 24/7 media hysteria and lies. Here is ABC News actually reporting facts. It leaves the Democrats' Hakeem Jeffries lost for words.
Donald Trump's favorability rating is actually higher than it ever was the first time around. Let me ask you, a recent poll by MOCKED looked at several of the things that he has done or says that he is going to do, and 63% favor federal government's recognition of only two.
Oh my God. A government's recognition of only two sexes, 62%. Deporting immigrants here illegally, 60%. Expanding oil and gas production, 60%. Declare emergency at southern borders, 59%. Like, that's crazy. How long has he been? Like,
sexes,
what?
60% favor deporting
Since
immigrants
January?
who entered the United States illegally. 60% favor expanding oil and gas production. 59% favor declaring an emergency at the southern border. Is there anything you are seeing that Trump is doing that you are in favor of, that you think is the right thing?
Let me say, as it relates to all of those issues, we're just at the beginning.
There'll be plenty more Lefties Losing It
We're
content
just-
with my next guest. Now, I can't believe
We're just
this is
at the
happening in the
beginning.
great state of Texas. Here is a church service in Dallas being led by a drag king. Yes, a woman dressed as a dude. In my day, we'd just call that a tomboy or a butch gal, but no, it's an entire identity now. And she's preaching at a Christian service.
But performing gender as a daily task, I would argue.
I don't know about your religion, guys. I'm not a Christian, but I thought in the Bible that this is a no. And as a believer, you believe in your book, and you should believe what is written in the book because it's the word of God. And what is happening in here, I do not understand this at all. And I just muted the video.
Which we have all been.
Maybe I should keep it muted.
At a Christian service.
Let's see.
But performing gender as a daily task, I would argue, is a learned cultural trait to which we have all been exposed. As understandings of drag have changed throughout history, perhaps drag today could be defined as that which threatens the already fragile and arbitrarily constructed framework for gender performance that is necessary to maintain power dynamics.
Say what now? Let's bring in my
This is
second
not a
favorite
church talk. That's a political. Like, what does that have to do with anything? I remember church talks were be grateful, be thankful, don't steal, like those type of topics we talk about it in such institutions, right? Like, what's going on?
comedian, host of Primetime with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex, this is reportedly at the United Church of Christ Cathedral of Hope, a Protestant denomination. What is going on in Texas?
Clown show.
Well, Rita, that's actually our mutual friend, Sarah Gonzalez, who filmed that. She was working for the Texas Family Project. It's the nonprofit organization that she basically runs here in Texas that exposes all of this weird.
And this is in Texas, by the way, which is
gender
so
indoctrination
weird.
of youth. And, you know, Sarah goes to a lot of these drag queen story hours. But when it came to this event, what was so unique about it is not only did they have a drag king, which is bizarre in itself, and not only is this a mockery of Christianity, they actually did a drag brunch after this event. That's right, Rita.
What's that?
And every
What do you eat?
dollar that the drag brunch made went to the church. So it makes absolutely no sense that there are Christian churches here in Dallas, Texas, that are trying to say that they believe in the scripture when they do the exact opposite of what the scripture preaches.
Exactly.
Dallas, Texas. I didn't think this would be happening, but all the big cities in the US go a little
So
bit
weird.
loopy. Now, we spoke earlier in the program about J.D. Vance's great speech in Munich. He also gave a great speech in Paris. Look both of those up. They're well worth a listen. But let's hear him address the hysteria in Europe about Elon Musk daring to comment on politics on that continent.
And expressing opinions isn't election interference. Even when people express views outside your own country, and even when those people are very influential. And trust me, I say this with all humor, if American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk.
Now, there's been an enormous backlash to that speech, a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
commentary. Tell me what the reaction has been in the US.
Well, you know, it's funny, Rita, that everybody's getting mad at Elon Musk, yet there's billionaires that are unelected, just like Bill Gates, that make so many decisions for the Democratic Party, and nobody tries to call that out except for.
Yeah, because usually they are behind the scene. They don't dare to show their faces because they don't want to be blamed for whatever happens. Elon Musk has bald and he's doing it that way. And not only that, the fact that, like, keep in mind, he's such a genius, but he's also autistic. So his idea of what to do, he doesn't think about it in the same way. I feel like he's very proud and passionate about what he's doing, and he doesn't care about the consequences and the hatred that it could bring, even though he doesn't deal with hatred the best way possible. Because if you saw, like, the incident with Asmund Golden, what's going on about him going live to show us and prove to us that he's a gamer, turned out really badly. And I cannot believe that Elon Musk, who has to deal with all of these presidential decisions and stuff, actually had a beef with Asmund Gold. That's weird.
Conservative. So it's just the hypocrisy is on display from the people on the left. And I'm not even saying that you have to like Elon Musk. You don't have to agree with Elon Musk. But at
Not
the
on
end of the
everything.
day, what he's done with free speech on X is incredible. So
That's
I
true.
think that he's going to create more government transparency. So I don't care that he's from South Africa. I like a guy that's getting in there and disrupting things and trying to make Americans have more information on what's really going on within our government.
Well, none of this should be a surprise. It wasn't like Trump won a second term and then he shocked everybody by bringing out Elon Musk and having this Department of Government Efficiency. This was part of the election promises. This was part of all the
He
rallies.
was there the
Elon
whole
Musk was
time.
appearing.
Elon was
They
there, yeah.
spelled out precisely what they plan to do. So to pretend that Elon Musk doesn't have any authority to act in this manner is plainly absurd. The president has given him that authority. He's got a mandate to do precisely what he's doing, and the hysteria is something else. Before we move on to one of my favorite stories of the week, President Trump was at Daytona. He got a rousing reception. He's the first sitting president.
He always is getting
to
cheered.
show up to an event like this.
But then you
after
have
he
so many
attended
people on the internet, like, hating on him. Like, I don't understand that. He is so loved by many publicly, but then once you're back home behind the screen, like, people are hating. Like, I don't understand.
Super Bowl again, the first
It's like only people who don't go out hate him.
do so. Is he just enjoying this honeymoon tour around the country, going to these events where he knows he's going to be cheered loudly?
Why not?
You know, Rita, honestly, if I had to guess, I don't know if he's taking the same supplements that Hunter Biden took, but Donald Trump has more energy than any other human being on planet Earth.
Definitely.
And the guy
He
is an
loves to be
unstoppable
loved.
force, and that's why he's at the Super Bowl getting hugs from all of the players, and that's why he's at Daytona driving around the track like he owns the place, because Donald Trump is and I hate to say this, but I think he's a superhuman. I don't even think Donald Trump is human at this point with the way that he grinds and constantly hustles and is at
I mean, are people really surprised by him grinding? He has been grinding forever. He has been on TV and social medias and everywhere around you forever. When I was a child, he would appear in some of my favorite sitcoms, like just like that. I'll be like, oh, the guy with the orange hair, you know, like he had such a specific look as well that you would remember that even as a child. He was always a hard-working guy, but I cannot believe at that age he is still doing it. That is very impressive and inspiring. Also, it gives me the vibes of like a monarchy and a king and a queen. And like, I don't know, is it just me? Because we would be so proud to see the king appearing at such events and like waving. And now we have a president that does that, and it is actually very cheered and people are happy to see it.
every event. It just doesn't make sense, Rita, what he can do.
Well, he doesn't sleep much. He's one of those people who can survive on 3-4 hours of sleep.
That's true, because
it's amazing how
older,
much you can achieve if you're not spending 8-9 hours every night sleeping. Now, note that
8 hours of sleep, wow.
infamous Trump
Can't relate.
mugshot is now hanging
Your mom
proudly
here.
in the Oval Office. This was something that, again, triggered the left. But tell me why this is so significant. So many political analysts who don't understand why this is powerful and what it means for Trump voters to have that mugshot hanging in the Oval Office.
Well, what it does, Rita, that's so important when you see that mugshot, it makes him so relatable. Now, whether you agree with January 6th or not, a lot of Trump's biggest supporters were prosecuted by our Department of Justice, which I think unfairly they were prosecuted, but some people will say that they didn't get prosecuted enough. My point is, it makes Donald Trump so relatable because he's seen this illegal political prosecution happen to him. And we've had thousands of other people that have happened, that this has also happened to. So it makes Donald Trump so relatable by putting that up there and not being ashamed, being unapologetically himself. And that's why Donald Trump is so awesome. And everybody knows that is actually paying attention that it was basically a inside job, a scam to convict Trump of these crimes, just like January 6th. So he's just so relatable. Donald Trump might be a billionaire, but he is a man of the people. And that mugshot is just a proof that he does not think he's better than everybody like they try to imply that he is. He's a man of the people, truly.
Like, think about it. Sorry. Think about it, guys. Basically, a guy is a billionaire. Why would he ever go through all of these shenanigans if he didn't care about the people, if he didn't have an agenda that is beyond himself? Because for himself, he doesn't have to do that. He already has it all. He literally has no agenda whatsoever that is for him there. He wants to leave a legacy of a name as well, but he wants to do it the right way and he wants to do it for the people.
Well, every sham indictment, every sham charge, conviction brought him closer to the White House. And this is what the political analysts, so many on the left, don't understand. They thought that if they gave him the tag of convicted felon, that he would be unelectable. Instead, it did the opposite because people saw how corrupted the system was, how they were using lawfare to stop the people
gave him
having
more
their
attention.
say. And I can remember back when he and Ron DeSantis were vying for the candidacy, it was neck and neck, and then the indictments came and it was Trump's to win. Nobody was going to stand in his way after that. Now, they are trying to also, Alex, drive a wedge between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. The pair have sat down with Fox News' Sean Hannity to discuss that and more.
They want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. They said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock.
I love that they're joking
it's just
about
so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity.
Yeah,
I could
that's
do,
so
outside
sad.
of you and a few of your very good friends.
Right.
It's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Oh, that was a very interesting exchange, the full interview.
Man, how powerful the guy is. Like, he literally told the people they are smart. Basically, you're smart, so you have to understand that all of what the media says is a lie. And by saying that, he just told you don't trust the media, because you're smart. Like, the play with words as well, like, he's so good at this, because people are like, yes, I am smart. I'm not going to trust the media, and I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to trust everything you say. Nothing wrong in that, but I'm just saying he is so powerful.
He will be up shortly. Alex, the media campaign against Trump seems to be less and less effective. It seems to be just dismissed by the overwhelming majority of the American people.
Well, Rita, you know this. You're very popular on these platforms, but in this new digital media era, that Twitter or X is the new press. That is the new media. That is where people get their information. That is where people share their information. So all of the establishment that have always controlled the narrative, they hate to see a guy like Elon Musk that actually allows free speech. So even though Donald Trump is a huge threat, Elon Musk is almost an equal threat to the people that are so entrenched in keeping a narrative just one way without an opposing opinion. So I would say that even though Donald Trump is the biggest threat to the deep state, Elon Musk is almost an equal threat because of the power that he yields, not just with his super, popular cars or his super popular space program, but because he controls the modern day press, which is X. And they hate that, Rita. And that's why they want to try to demonize him and scrutinize him so much to make him unlikable.
Man, Elon's
Alex
behavior.
Stein, thank you for your time tonight.
So cute.
Thank you, Rita. Always a pleasure.
There was like a guy who made a compilation of Elon Musk on speeches and in public and like how he behaves and stuff. And it literally impersonates a sitcom character. I don't know the name of it, but he's so cartoonish. It's like he saw it on TV and then he repeats it. That's where the autism comes from. But that's what makes him special and unique and lovable. Yeah, although I don't approve everything Elon Musk does, but yeah, as a person, I think he's a good guy. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. See you. Bye.